Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate all of you for submitting your questions on our community post. We actually have a second mailbag coming up later in the week, so stay tuned for that. But we answered as many as we can, and we actually start with QB1 himself, Patrick Mahomes. I know you're watching 15, hashtag Chiefs. Should Kansas City draft Jameson Williams to pair up with Tyreek Hill for the speed and go Chiefs Kingdom and winning the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium? Type Chiefs Kingdom in the chat. Hopefully they get to L.A. if the Super Bowl stays there and end up winning it all once again. Obviously, when it comes to Jameson Williams, if you watch the national championship game, Alabama-Georgia, he suffered that torn ACL, which, probably impacts his draft stock, right? I don't think it'll greatly impact it because ACL injuries these days aren't nearly as severe as they once were. The expectation is that he will still declare for the NFL draft. He's one of the highest rated receivers in this 2022 class, and for good reason. I mean, look how explosive the guy is. 20 yards a catch, 15 touchdowns at Alabama, almost 1,600 yards and 79 catches. I mean, he was absolutely tremendous this year, and quite frankly, if he doesn't get hurt, I think there's a good chance that Jameson Williams and the Crimson Tide end up winning the national championship, but that's neither here nor there. Obviously, the ACL injury impacts his stock a little bit. It's possible he won't be ready for week 1 of the season, but you're talking about a 4-3 type of guy that can really run, and we know the Chiefs like those really fast receivers, so I'd be very intrigued to pair him up with Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, and the rest of this offense. Would you draft Jameson Williams with a first-round pick? Type D for draft. Type P for pass. The injury's not worth it. I'd probably do it, folks. I mean, if he's sitting there at 30 or hopefully 32, wherever the Chiefs are picking, I would do it. Get your votes in. Let me know down in the comments. Next one coming in from Bruno Rosscamp, hashtag Chiefs. Do you think we should go after affordable free agent vets like Stephon Gilmore, Cordarrelle Patterson, and then draft an edge? We'll focus on the two guys you mentioned there, Bruno. Cordarrelle Patterson, I think he'd be a fun player in Kansas City. He's got a good personality. He is versatile. He can play running back. He can play receiver. He's an excellent kick returner. Say you lose Byron Pringle, someone decides to pay him, then Patterson could replace him in that role as well. And I think the Chiefs' offense would be a good fit for a player that kind of broke out this year, which is rare this late into someone's career. He's 30, but really can get it done in a multitude of ways. I mean, you look at the numbers here as a rusher, 618 yards and 6 touchdowns, 4 yards a carry there. As a receiver, 548, 5 touchdowns, over 10 yards a grab. We know the returner he is. He's consistently been a top 5 return man in the NFL pretty much since he's entered the league. So I think he would be a very intriguing weapon to add to this offense. For Stephon Gilmore, I think it comes down to price, aging player. Had a pretty decent year in Carolina, but now he's got some injury history stuff to worry about, so you'd have to factor that in. Think Patrick Peterson. He got a 1-year, $10 million deal with Minnesota last offseason. Could you get Gilmore at something like that? 1 year, $9 million, 1 year, $10 million. You pay him a decent amount for 1 year, but it's only 1 year. You're not tied to him for a long time. I think that's something that the Chiefs could pursue if they want to add a quality corner to their room. Subscribe to the channel because our offseason coverage is going to be lit, like the kids would say. Hit that sub button. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV is the place to go. Obviously, the focus will primarily be on this playoff push, but once that's over, free agency, draft, that coverage is going to ramp up even more. But we will have those type of videos as well, even during the playoffs, so go ahead and subscribe today. Okay, Riley Gamer, do you think we can get to the Super Bowl for the 3rd year in a row? I mean, that's the goal, right? I mean, this isn't Pittsburgh. The Chiefs' opponent's just happy to be there, happy to sneak in. I mean, you look at the Chiefs' path to the playoff picture in the AFC. Tennessee sitting at home, drinking their natty lights this weekend, but in the AFC, I look at this group, and yeah, there's some tough teams. Tennessee's a good team, especially getting Derrick Henry back, it looks like. Buffalo is obviously a team that beat Kansas City earlier this year. Cincinnati beat them, but I don't see why there's any reason why the Chiefs can't win the AFC and go to another Super Bowl. They are the betting favorite to do so, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's Super Bowl or bust with this group. I mean, that's just the expectation with this team right now and how it's currently built. You've made the Super Bowl the last 2 years. You should have made it in 2018. That's kind of the standard, right? Anything less of a Super Bowl appearance is maybe it's not a full-out failure, but it's a disappointment, and I think that's you should embrace that if you are a member of this football team, because how rare is this that you could go to 3 straight Super Bowls? Like, this doesn't happen, folks. Like, if you win a Super Bowl and you're as a player, you're like, well, I'm probably never going back. That hasn't been the case for the nucleus of this players trying to go for a 3rd straight season. What do you guys think? Will the Chiefs go to a 3rd straight Super Bowl? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think there's a good chance. I mean, obviously, you got to get through 3 games here to get to the big matchup in the middle of February. But I'm optimistic. Type your Y's for yes, type your N's for no, if you think that the Chiefs will go to a 3rd straight Super Bowl. So, hey, here's the deal. You see this jersey? It could be yours if you get going with BetUS. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. But first, you got to get signed up with BetUS. So we'll show you more of those jerseys in a moment. Here's the deal. BetUS Sportsbook, you can bet on all of the NFL playoff matchups throughout the postseason. Go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Use our promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. Deposit $100 for you new BetUS customers. Once you deposit that 100, then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We'll hook you guys up with a brand new jersey. Just go place a bet on any game for any amount after you deposit that 100. We'll hook you guys up. We got a couple of Mahomes one. If you want the Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey as well, those are in stock. Also, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Just to kind of recap it all, here are the steps that you need to follow to get that free jersey. I recommend you guys screenshotting this graphic right now. Go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Plug in the promo code Chiefs125. Deposit a minimum of $100. Then you'll get a 125% deposit bonus. Place a bet on any game for any amount. Hell, just go put $10 on the Chiefs and then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. You follow those steps, we'll be able to hook you guys up with a brand new Chiefs jersey. Keep it moving here. King Chiefs KC saying, Chiefs, do you think it is time to end the Gordon experiment and let Doris Fontaine have his chance? He could be a weapon that defensive coordinators are not prepared for. Let me just say this. I don't think opposing defensive coordinators are going to be holding their breath if, oh my God, Doris Fountain has been activated from the practice squad. I don't think that's the case. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't swap him in and Gordon out necessarily, because let's be honest, the Gordon experiment hasn't really worked. I mean, I think he's been a decent blocker on the outside, but that's not why you signed him. You're hoping to recapture at least some of that magic during this season. That has not been the case. The good news is Byron Pringle has been a solid player all year. McCole Hardman, as of late, has stepped up, had his first career 100-yard game against the Denver Broncos in Week 18. That was nice to see. Hopefully those two guys can be key cogs in the postseason. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to, say, well, Doris Fountain, he's the answer. He is the answer fresh off the practice squad. So I don't think that's the case, but I think you're also plenty fine for this playoff run. Do you trust the Chiefs receivers come playoff time, which is right now? Type T for trust, type D for don't. I do. I think they got a good enough crop. You got Hill and Kelce, and then, I think Pringle and Hardman, even Demarcus Robinson, are more than enough for this offense. Go to Daniel, kind of similar here. Should the Chiefs bring back Josh Gordon? Not for any real money, right? Look at the numbers of what he's done since signing pretty early in the year. 5 catches on 14 targets, 32 yards and a touchdown. I mean, those are kind of practice squad numbers, right? This is like number 5 receiver, edge of the roster type, which is fine. If you want to bring him back for the vet minimum, if you think he's a quality piece to have in your locker room, cool. Like, if he's not taking up any real cap space, I'm down. I'd bring him back for that, but I'm not bringing him back for more than the minimum, which is, $1 million and a half bucks. If he wants $3-4 million, then, well, good luck finding it, Josh, because it's not going to be with the Kansas City Chiefs, who have to be very specific on what contracts they give out, because their cap situation is going to be pretty tricky this offseason. All right, appreciate everybody for submitting their questions. Give me a follow on Instagram at HGramNFL. It's at HGramNFL. You can always slide in my DMs over there, ask me some more questions. So if we didn't answer yours, go give me a follow. We can answer them over there. And we'll see you soon here on the Chiefs Report.